Hey everyone, welcome. We've been starting a little later today because of some tech issues, but we are here now, getting our camera set up and everything like that. Just getting the last couple things set up here. Get that there, and then the last thing to do, because I was dealing with camera issues, I didn't get this done yet. So here we go. I have to go in here and just change what we're doing today. And what are we doing today?
Not the necromancy.
Alright, there we go. So, what we're doing is we're making more of these tiles. This sort of mission style Southwest house. We have this tile set here that you can see. It's all primed and ready to go. And we're going to be making this into even more of that Southwest house style. We're doing this because we're looking at doing a one-shot in a Western theme. And this is going to be part of it, I guess. So, yeah. Do you want to start with the door and do?
I could start with the door.
Well,
if you're doing floors,
yeah.
Usually the floors, I think, needed like 3 coats.
Yes, this red paint specifically preferred to have like 3 coats, so I was going to get started on that right away.
And we're using what, the dark sand?
Dark sand for the walls, which is currently hiding over here.
Hopefully there's
So dark sand for the walls, and then the flat black for the beams.
So,
And then we do an umber wash on the red to give it that sort of earthy tone.
I could work on the door. Or else, as you paint the floor, you could slide them over, and I could paint the
wall.
The wall.
Yeah, you'll want to wear gloves because they'll be red everywhere. And then I'll have to do a few more coats after you've painted the wall.
Yeah, so we could just keep like passing them back and forth. You can do the floor, hand it to me, I'll do the wall. To come back around, you can do a second coat.
And then wait and do a third coat.
And by the time the third coat is done, the wall might be dry enough to paint the black.
So, we'll see how it goes. Alright, yeah. Just checking, making sure everything is up and running, because I am nervous about that now.
I'll be using this larger brush because it's just the base coat on the wall. It's the stucco part here. And there's a lot of it.
And make sure you really get sometimes when I do this, you can't, sometimes I miss little sections where it bumps up against the wood. And then I have to go touch that up.
You have to get up into it because when we paint the wood frame, we don't paint down into it, we just paint across the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, this should be okay. So let me see, what did we do? Oh yeah, this is all painted black later.
Yeah, the wood is painted in the flat black.
Yeah, and the back as well.
So as you can see, this is a very translucent red. It needs a lot of coats to get to where we want it to be. So we're gonna be a little bit getting it there, but this gets that nice, when we put our umber wash on it, it will get a nice sort of terracotta look to it. So
yeah, it looks pretty bright now, but
and I'm gonna just do 1 coat along the side edges for the last coat, so it's a little more handleable. Handleable for you. We're planning to do sort of a Western style one-shot with these. And since I had some tech issues, I'm a little thrown off all of these 3D models we print ourselves here on those 3D printers behind me. If you're interested, the designs, you can find them on DysonDungeons.com under the Attributions tab, where we sort of list all the 3D designers that we use. So do check those out.
Most of this is pretty straightforward, but I need to try to not get it.
No, normally we don't do Western style, like American Southwest style stuff. We're usually doing fantasy because we're usually playing D&D on our D&D streams that we do Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern here on Twitch, and then they're all available on YouTube and podcasts down the road. So I'm going to have to be extra careful when you hand these back to me, because I'm going to have to avoid getting paint on the walls twice. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And I believe that dark sand will probably need a second coat.
Mm. Yeah, very well might. So
alright. I'll give you a flip while you're on mute, Boo. We'll use this good old spell circle. It's a good flipping. There you go. Yeah, so that sand will need a second coat. This Southwest set has a lot of coat layers required. Yeah. So in the near future here, you're gonna be seeing either just me or me and my wife Lexi doing these. My dad, who plays Ulseth on our stream here, is going to be gone for a while.
Yep, 2 weeks.
For your 50th anniversary?
That is correct.
So, hopefully you'll enjoy that trip. And I will be holding down the fort. Excuse me, while you're gone. Unfortunately, you won't be here to do painting with me.
No. Or be part of the Western thing.
No, the Western we are going to be doing with some old friends of ours.
Well, they're not that old.
Oh.
Oh, well, that's...
Long-time friends of ours. Is that better?
So, parts of this can't be painted until the red dries. Where it got up on the wall there. Will have to be covered over.
I mean, I'm doing the best I can, but I'm using a large brush.
Yeah. But, you know, we're doing 2 coats, so that's automatic touch-up.
Kind of the reason I was originally planning to just do 1 coat at a time, but this does save on time. Ultimately.
Yeah, it goes faster.
So I'm gonna set this piece here so people can sort of see where we're headed with this. And then if we get through these in fairly short order, we can do a little gluing.
Well, what are we gluing?
We have 2 prototype caverns. I'll see if we get to them. Not sure if we will.
Yeah, the prototypes are the ones in which the base and
the wall
walls
are separate.
Unlike these, which are printed
These are also
Walls.
prototypes.
that we glued earlier.
Yes, these are all prototypes as well. The base and the walls are separate, and the
Well, they're not now. We glued them.
well, they're still technically separate. They're just also
Not.
adhered together. Yeah. So that is the plan for the day. I'm going to do my first coat. I have this floor that has just the wood pillar. It's an inside corner that needs a lot. And then I have 2 of these central floors, and they're just the floor. So those are going to take a minute. But I want everything to be sort of drying at the same pace, so that I can give each coat as needed. Alright. Now it's time to start going back and doing a second coat. So, as you can see, it's pretty dry here. So, what I need to do is fairly carefully go along the edge and then pull away, like so. And then I'm going to be sending them back over to my dad here, because the dark sand will need a second coat. So this is a little tricky in that we're sort of dealing with red paint and gray. We're dealing with wet paint, 2 different colors simultaneously, working different areas. So it takes a little more dexterity and focus than a base coat normally would.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some touch up along the edges there. It's just hard for me to get the
That's what I was a little concerned about with the doing 2 at once, but I think it'll be alright. It'll just be touching up to do. Yeah?
yeah, it's just getting the wall color down below the floor. And I'm using this larger brush, so and it's just a little messy. Maybe I'll just leave the floor part alone.
And then do them again.
Do it again with a smaller brush.
I like to pull each other together, which is the intent. All of these pieces are magnetized, so they hold each other together like that, but they're easy to pull apart. putting a second coat on these larger floor sections here. So this is quickly approaching how red we want it, but it will need one extra coat just to really finalize that red color. And then it will get a umber wash, which will help darken this bright red back down while introducing a bit more brown to it. Umber is just a fancy art word for brown. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They have burnt umber, raw umber, burnt sienna. I remember that was used to be in the Crayola box.
I grab a paper towel. Another risk here is that sometimes, especially working on the floors, you get some paint on your gloved hand, and then when you grab the piece where Dad has put a nice coat of the dark sand on it, then the paint on your fingers gets right on it. So you have to constantly make sure you are not getting paint that you don't want everywhere. I guess I can start doing second coats on these pieces, right?
Yeah. As I get around to them.
Did I second coat this one?
I don't know.
I think I did.
Yeah, it's still really wet.
So you just, okay, yeah, you're not doing the bottoms right now.
No, the couple that I did, it caused a problem.
Because of the size of the brush you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to use a smaller brush to get at least along the bottom edge.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so with this, I have done 2 coats on every floor right now, which means I'm on to my 3rd coat for each one. So, this one's mostly dry, so that should be okay to work on. And this pumps it up to about the amount of saturation and red that we want. And while I am here. I'm also going to have a small amount of red and just get the sides so they're not black anymore. They kind of match the overall redness of the floor. Alright, so that's sort of what the base coat will look like. Now these are going to be a little messy because I don't have a good handhold, because they are just the base. Just the floor. But I'm going to get the sides coated here to get that tone in. Alright, there we go. And now to fairly carefully do the top here. Although I will have to accept I'm going to get some on my glove. Just try and minimize it. Alright. Now on to the last one. Just gonna dry it off my glove here, so minimize the amount of extra paint I have that could go around. So, which ones have you double coated?
None of them.
None of them, okay. So what I'll probably do is just start gradually going through these and getting their final coat for the floor on. Does that work for you?
The final coat. Third coat?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, any of these will do. So.
Yeah, I need to get a finer brush and start painting along the base of the floors. But sometimes there's red paint on it, and that
needs to dry.
Yeah, it needs to dry before I can do that.
Yeah, and that's just the nature of how many coats you have. You're gonna invariably start getting a little here and there. So
if you want me to put a second coat of
sand
on the first coat of sand, just hand me the ones that you thirded.
That's a thirded.
And I can do the backs. Everything except that one panel, which we're going to have to do
after it dries.
It's kind of a separate thing.
That's almost kind of more efficient, right?
I'll put those over there.
And then, once we get all of these base coats on, it's gonna be doing the actual the wood sections.
No, we have to paint the grid, the window grids.
Oh yeah. That's true. So I'll probably be handling that as you finish the sand, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to forget on this doorway to get a little paint base in between here. So I'm actually going to work on some of these window floors, these windows. You can't really see very well because of the black, but I'm going to paint those now so that they're mostly dry. When I get to, we have to put some metal in the window panes, so the mullions, I don't know, is that what they're called?
Mm-hmm. That's what we'll call them.
I don't know if I third coated that one.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I did third coat that one. Yeah, it's third coated if I've done the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Is the general rule.
Okay, that's a rule. That's easy enough to follow.
There we go. Now I have all of these rounded corners to do. So they're slowly coming along here. Getting everything to the saturation we need it at. Okay. Luckily, there's not nearly as much floor here as there is on some of these other pieces. These rounded corners are fairly straightforward. I feel like going forward we should use the Scarlet just because it's a little more opaque. If we ever do more of these.
Yeah. Buy another jar of red and see if it's the same consistency. Just sit up a little straighter. I have a cramp in my back. It's been going on for the last few days.
Alright, I think I have triple coated everything now. So it's time to close up the red here. And get this big brush clean, for sure. Save that for a minute and have a drink. So this is the current sort of saturation on the floor, and we're going to tone it down a little here with some umber, but it'll be pretty close to this to get that sort of red terracotta look. And I believe for the window panes I used dark aluminum, a little bit brighter than the steel. I'll start shaking that up here. Alright. For the windows, I'm going to be using this sort of medium-sized brush here. Something I can get a fair amount of paint in. I don't have to worry too much about spilling, other than as long as it's contained within the frame itself, because the frame is going to be painted black, so not too hard. Let me know when you have some windows ready.
These are... You can take all of them.
I'll just have to go through and make sure all the dark sand matches by the end. Because, you know.
Well, the main thing is getting the bottommost parts, which are unpainted or poorly painted. Do that next.
So, what I'm going to do is these window paney things need to be silvered up a bit. So, I'm going to be taking this silver, dark aluminum technically, it's sort of a dark silver, and going around, making sure. So you're already starting to see this window pop out now. So I like to go around and get the outer frame painted in before I go and do the central section here. So I'm gonna skate along the top of all of these bars, and then I'm gonna run my brush between each one to sort of make sure I get each one's internal sections painted as well. Just like this. Just take my time, get every section painted. Sometimes it creates a little film where it has the water tension, it sort of creates a bubble, and you just poke it to break it. Alright, nice and easy. And then I just need to do the other side. But that, you can see, shows off that window pane a lot better by getting this silver on there. And then everything will come together right at the end when you paint the wood in.
Yeah. Everything looks pretty scabby until
the wood gets painted
the wood
on.
black. Yeah, the wood frame. In this case, will be painted black, and sometimes it's brown.
But all of this suddenly turns into something like this. A finished piece, basically. And there are 4 windows in this set that I need to paint. Some of these have little threads, just clean those out. That's from the printing process. We use a PLA, so it lays down in lines.
Okay, I'm going to let this brush soak a little bit. It's pretty saturated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting out a finer tipped brush, and basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint the line between the floor and the panel. Maybe go back to a bigger brush, finish the panel, because this little brush is going to be quite a chore. Basically, I want to do like within a quarter of an inch. And then you can come back and fill in the rest of that. This goes pretty slowly compared to that.
Okay.
But I'm going to try to get enough paint on so we don't need to do a second coat on top of this part. That would be kind of a pain to have to do.
Yeah, that dark sand's pretty translucent, so you have to go pretty thick. Generally speaking, the lighter the color, the more translucent it is, and the more in need of extra coats. Especially if you're working off of a black primer like we are here. That black primer tends to show through a little more than you might want. Two windows halfway through.
Sure to get those little lower corners. Yeah, that should be okay. That's just the one coat on there. I'm getting enough paint on.
Yeah, as long as you can get in enough paint, it generally should be okay. And then there's always a touch-up phase. The windows always take a bit of extra special attention, but I think they're a very standout piece once they're...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then when you're painting the black, just extra work around the window frame.
Mm-hmm.
But they do look nice.
Mm. It's always very impressive to me that these print on a PLA printer. These windows.
Mm-hmm. With the cross hatching?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive.
The windows should be done on all of those. And this is the last window to be done. Okay, so there are 4 windows. What I'm gonna do is clean out this cup with the silver before it becomes dry and a mess. I'm gonna take the opportunity to change my glove now to minimize the amount of red that I'm gonna spill elsewhere. Alright, so the question is, do you want me to start working on black next?
Why don't you put the second coat, or in case that was the first coat, on the bases.
What do you mean?
Down here on the bottom where I haven't finished painting.
Oh, I'll need some sand.
Yep.
Do we have any that we know are done? Or is nothing done?
What do you mean done?
Like, do we have any that we know are completely done with the sand?
No, they all have to be done on the
They,
bottom.
they all need
on
to
the
be done.
floor.
Okay, that's what I was asking. I didn't know where you were at because I haven't been monitoring.
No, I've just been painting the demarcation line here.
So I'm gonna make a pile where if it's been the second coat or the first coat.
Yeah. If it's just the first coat, you can send it over here. And I'll put a second coat on. Put the second coat. And it should be done.
Just moving everything over so I don't confuse them. Alright. I am currently targeting things where they'll be the first coat.
Okay.
Because those will need the most amount of work.
Let's see. I had a paper towel here, but here it is.
First coat.
Okay, so I'm going to clean this brush and then dry off the other one. Bring the big brush back. And put the second coat on the ones that need a second coat.
I'm assuming all of these have gotten a second coat.
Yeah, it's just the bottom on the floor side.
Otherwise, everything with sand is done.
Mm-hmm. And
Alright.
once those are done, that'll be done, and we can start painting black. Okay. Got a little bit of sand here, so I'll just use what I've got.
So all of this base coating work goes into making a very nice finished product. The more saturated and the better coated you get it.
Yeah, one of those got squished.
Yeah, it happens. It'll have to be, that's all part of the cleanup process.
Yeah, just touched up. Yeah, could I get a little more sand?
That's right next to you. In the middle.
Oh, there it is. Hidden in the middle of the table. I'm putting the dominoes up there.
Oh, okay. You moved where I had
Yeah,
them,
I just needed to make space for them.
Got it. So, all of this will hopefully make a very nice, large, sort of mission style set. That one needs the last coat. Alright. Getting the finished coat here. So you can see from the top and the bottom there's this translucency that occurs after just one coat that you need to go in and cover up just so it has a nice consistent color across the length of it. But we're going to quickly be moving out of the you can be a little messy territory here.
Yeah. To the you can't be messy at all territory.
What we're going to do is we'll do the black wood. Then we'll clean up the red floors, wash the red floors, and then do the touch-up on the sand, because this is something that happened. See that umber wash along the bottom here?
Oh, on that one.
Yeah. So when I put the umber wash on, a little line got there, and what I'm going to want to do is go through and just get a little bit of that sand to cover it up. Hide it. And we'll probably want to look through the other ones, make sure there's nothing like that on those as well. Alright, so second coats should be just about done now, right?
Yeah, I think they're done.
Alright, so one of us can start on the wood proper, and one of us should start doing the framing around the window. I'm good with whichever one you don't want to do.
No, I can start on the windows.
So what he's going to be doing is going around the edge of these window panes and getting the black to meet up in a clean line with it. So what I'm going to do is move everything that aren't windows away from you so that you have some space to work. And we'll probably have you take the cap of the black and I'll take the bottle because you won't need to deal with quite as much.
So basically what I'm going to do is paint around the edge of the window frame on both sides. And while I'm at it, I will outline the base panel in black so that the lines are essentially done on this. And then the sides and the top can be finished with a larger brush later.
And what I'm going to be doing is all of these pieces where you see this messy wood beaming that we've been painting around, I'm going to go in and paint them a nice flat black. I'm just going to quickly organize my wettest to driest so that I minimize. These are all fairly wet still.
Yeah, you want to take a little break and let them dry?
No, I mean, I'll start with this wood beam. To start with, and give them a chance to dry. I think those are actually the driest because we kind of went first with them.
Yeah.
So, opening up our flat black, there's the cap for you. And then my job is to be, you're not going to see that much going on with this beam particularly because it's already painted black from the primer. This is just going to give it a little more sort of saturation.
Yeah, make it a consistent color with the rest of it.
And give good consistency, that's true. So, I'm going to go up one side here. Go up the next side. And I mostly just have to be very careful where it comes in contact with any of the other colors. And then on this back one here, I'm actually going to go down the base and up. Get it matching along the bottom, the base part that holds the structure together. one last side here. Yeah. And then all that's going to be left is the top. Okay, so that one, you can't really tell that much what I did to it, but it is done. So I'm going to put that with the floors that are also just in need of a wash. What I'm going to do going through these is just do the face sides first. So in that case, it's going to be this side and this side are the face sides. And then after those are dry, we're going to go around and do the side and top parts. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
This is my driest one and most complicated one. I often like to try and get the most complicated ones done first.
Yeah, the door frames are surprisingly difficult. So I'm just going ahead and, like Nikki did, paint the entire face surface, because otherwise we're likely to forget it. And then it'll be black but a different shade and it'll show and be yucky. This way it won't be. It'll be unyucky. We'll do the same thing then to the back.
There is a lot of wood
edges
on the door frame here. So I've done half of one side here. It gives you a slightly better idea of what it's going to end up looking like.
I think not too long ago, I did one door frame in the same amount of time it took you to put the base coat on almost an entire set.
That sounds right. Yeah. The door frames are definitely the time-consuming ones.
And then we have to paint the door.
Yes, the door is fairly straightforward, though. Honestly.
Mm-hmm. It's good that this is nice and shiny when it's wet. You can actually kind of
Tell where it
sort of
is.
tell at least where you painted and where you haven't.
Okay. So I've gotten the back side done here. The next thing I'm actually gonna do are these insides. The insides of the door frame. I need to be a little careful along the floor here. Make sure I don't create too much of a mess for myself. I have to clean up by getting black on the floor. And I'm gonna just bring it up along the inside edge here.
Okay. So there is one done, front and back, sides and top. Will still need to be done, but that can be done real quickly with a bigger brush.
So you're just doing the whole faces on the windows?
Yeah. Since I'm there, I might as well.
These door frames sure do love to take time. And since I'm working on like 2/3 of it at least, I'm actually just gonna paint the whole thing on this doors at least. Get the outside edges, because at that point I'm
there's nothing much left.
Pretty much done it all anyway. So all I have left are the 2 outside edges and the inside face here. I'm actually going to tackle the outside edges first to give the backside face some time to dry, so that I can sort of set it on its back and have an easier time painting the inside face. So. Okay, so now all that's left on this is the front face. Not messy, messy. Kinda how it is right now. Alright. So, what I want to do is just, as carefully as I can, get down to the floor without smudging up into the red as much as I can avoid. And go across here. Alright. Get black paint all over my finger. Next, I need to get this little central beam in.
Need another shake.
Okay, so there's one of two sides done on the front here. Whew. But it's coming together. How are your windows? Are you on the second or third?
I'm on the back of the second. So I might finish 2 whole windows by the time you get one door.
The windows and the doors are the far and away most time consuming of the lot. So it's good that we're getting them out of the way here. Okay. Okay, there we go. Door frame is done. I'm gonna set that over with the finished pieces. Which is kind of a misnomer because they're not washed or anything yet. But they're more finished than these. So now I'm gonna start digging into the regular pieces and getting these all cleaned up so they'll start to look like something.
The curved walls have a lot of surface area, but they go pretty quickly.
Sort of, yeah. Not as quickly as the flat walls.
No.
So, that's more what they're gonna look like. Now for the backside. Dialogue. It's okay to have a quiet moment of focus.
Meaningful conversation. How's the wall painting going?
Slow.
Yeah, compared to the base coat, it really seems to drag, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Which is part of the nature of hand painting and all that.
Detail work.
These plaster and beam sets always take the most amount of time because of these beams. This is where that time comes from on these pieces. Getting all of these in. Now I just need to go along the bottom.
Okay. When you're ready to take a short break, you can refill my pink bottle cap.
Yeah, and once I finish this piece, I will do some.
What color did you want the door panels?
The same as the other one, silver, and then It was like silver
and gloss black.
and gloss black.
Yeah, I forgot what color of silver I used. I think. Did I use the dark aluminum on
You might have, yeah. Okay,
Oh,
so
here it
that
is.
cup, that wall is done except for the sides.
it? Red color. Steel? Did I use steel?
You might have done steel.
I think I did steel.
How are your windows coming?
And the last one,
You're on the last one. Wow.
and I can start painting
Walls with me.
walls. Yeah. And then we're done with walls. One of us can take on edges.
Edges? Oh, the outside edges. And the other one can do umber washes on the floor.
Oh, after the floor touch-up.
Yeah. So one of us will touch up floors. The other one will do side edges.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the floors are touched up and dried enough, we'll do an umber wash on every floor. And then the last thing we'll do is touch up with the sand. Sound good?
Mm-hmm. And this one was already done. Which one hasn't been done? It should be pretty obvious, or did I get them all?
This one doesn't look done.
Well, that's probably the one that isn't done yet. It's definitely not done.
So everything in this pile here needs edges. Yeah,
Edges and floor touch.
edges and floor touches. But we have 4 more corner pieces and a straight wall to do as well. I might try and go slightly faster with these ones. Hopefully maintaining quality though. Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully. So is this going to be part of one large set for your show, or two different places?
I think we're gonna use all of them for one larger set. Ideally. I think that's the plan, at least.
Yes, you'll find out.
Hi, Yojam. How are you doing? Alright. There we go. And now the back side.
Every once in a while, I remember to look up, see if I'm on camera. And I'm usually not.
Yeah, you shift around and get your figure off camera.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the movable camera that we got made for you.
Well, then I move the camera.
Mm-hmm. That's where our needs edges pile is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give myself a break from corners and do this straight wall.
Is there one straight wall in this set?
Yeah.
Quite a treat getting that one.
I've been doing doorways and corners, so I want to just break things up a little before I go back to more corners. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, there we go, one side. And now the back side. Huh. Looks like we've disconnected. I don't know why our internet has stopped streaming, but for those of us, you watching on YouTube, this is secret content that only you get, apparently. I see our stream cut out. It's reconnecting now. So, like and subscribe on YouTube. That's my secret YouTube message.
Okay. I'll go refill when you're ready.
Okay, I just loaded a brush.
Not a problem.
And it looks like we are back on Twitch.
Oh, hi. Welcome back.
I don't know why we had a little internet blip there, but
you know, it's
if you're watching the new video on Twitch that's been made now, this is our painting stream. Thanks for checking us out. We print and paint everything that you're seeing here on the 3D printers behind me, and we've been doing it for a while. You can check out a lot of the previous projects we've done on YouTube. Just search for Dice and Dungeons and relaxing painting. So, there you go. For anyone who might be just joining us or rejoining us, that's what we're doing. We're painting this sort of Southwest style house. Here's what a finished one looks like. It's a dungeon tile set. They're all magnetized, and these are going to be used, I believe, for a Western one-shot, like a Cowboys kind of, like 6-shooters and all that stuff. One-shot, that's going to be in the future here. Otherwise, we mostly dabble in sort of fantasy style stuff for Dungeons and Dragons, and we play a Dungeons and Dragons campaign on Twitch, Sundays 2 p.m. Eastern. So feel free to check that out. We also have all the old episodes on podcast and YouTube. You can find those at our website, diceanddungeons.com, where we have all of it. We're closing in on 50 episodes, and for anyone who might want to not have to watch through the whole backlog, we have some synopses of previous sort of story arcs.
Big fancy word.
What? Arcs?
Arc. Synopses.
Synapses. That's the same thing, right?
No.
Are you sure?
Yep. Not the same thing. There's a thing though. You got that part right.
It's a short version of a story. Right?
Yes.
As opposed to a brain thing, which is the synopsis.
No.
No.
Or a nose thing, which is a synopsis.
A synosis? Oh, my sinuses are really clogged today. Like that?
Mm-hmm. That's why you end up having rhinoceroses.
Yeah, because they have horn on their nose.
Mm-hmm. Now everybody learn new words. It's an educational show as well.
Synopsis.
Rhinoceroses.
Rhinoceroses. Rhinostriches. It's a bird.
So should I do that last one and then you can start on touch-up?
Sure, if you feel like it. I'm going to be a minute on this one. I haven't done the backside yet, so... We're almost done getting our base coat in. That's exciting. Right?
Mm-hmm. And we get to go back with tiny little brushes and put dots of red paint and sand paint.
I could alternatively start doing the side edges, but I think it'd be better to do touch-up to give them more time to dry.
Mm-hmm.
that's the inside face done. Now to flip it over and do the outside. Okay. Alright, so all those need now is I'm going to be doing red touch-up on all the floors. I'm going to give this to you. And while I'm doing red touch-up, I might finish before you, because it doesn't take that much to do touch-up. You just have to take your time and inspect each piece carefully, and then use a smaller brush to cover up any spots where there might be some spillover. So I'm going to be doing red touch-up on every single piece. You're going to start doing the outside edges in black.
No, I'm going to do sand touch-up.
Don't do sand touch-up until we've umber washed the floor, because that will invariably splash a little.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Well, then I can start doing the sides as you hand them over.
Everything here is ready and needs the sides, so what I'm gonna do is slide everything over next to me, and everything I place here will be touched up and ready to go. How does that sound?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so just grab one piece at random. And the main thing I'm gonna do is just give it a quick look over. Look for any spots that feel like they have a, like, it's usually pretty straightforward and obvious if there's a spill. Kind of like on this one. That needs to be touched up. Often sometimes if we're good, there is nothing, so I can hand it over.
Okay, and I will be touching it. There's spots on the side there.
Oh, on the side. How did that happen?
I don't know. The side
Must have been on the glove.
Mm.
Alright. So, I'm gonna go.
So I got the big brush, and I'm just gonna go around the edges.
So I just do a little spot like that.
This black
and
is
let
getting
it
low.
dry. Yes, it is. We're gonna have to do a big order of paint here.
Yeah. Well, we're gone. Well, I'm gone. You and Alexis can do a paint inventory.
So the vast majority of the touching up is gonna occur right where the wall and the floor meet. Just because that's where the most likely contact between two paint colors is to have occurred. So you can see there's just little tiny flecks. So I just need to take my small fine brush and go along. Excuse me, each of those. And then I'm going to give a quick check to all the sides. For cases where maybe some has spill. And then there's the rare case, like here you can see some silver got on there. Probably when I was painting the window frame this way, it might have splattered out a little. Just gotten flicked off. So just cover that up, like so. But generally speaking, touching up is very quick and straightforward. It's just an important process when you're doing something like this. You want to make sure, especially before you wash something, that your base coat is kind of like 100% done. Because once you put that wash on, the only way to backtrack is to put a whole nother base coat on top and start over again. So the door frame has a lot in contact with the floor, and generally needs a bit of touch up. And even though these are just the floor, it's always worth, while you're doing touch up, to go back and check them, make sure they're good. Like this one might have gotten like a thumb on it or something like that had paint. You just want to make sure that they are clear. Also, it's always important to accidentally smack a pillar and get a tiny patch of red on your black. Luckily, it was very small and still wet, so I was able to pull it off with a paper towel. So are these all the done ones?
Those, yeah.
So, what I'm going to do is, not touching the sides, move these over. So, what my main project is going to be now is getting umber wash on the floors. That will be my priority. And we're very close to done, time-wise and process-wise. So after I'm done washing each floor piece, I'm gonna set it aside. And when you're done, then you can do sand touch-up.
Okay, I was going to do the door panel.
The door panel can come later. We always save the door panel for last for some reason. This bottle I'm pretty sure is empty. So, I need, I think, a new umber wash. I don't have one. So, I'm gonna take a second and awkwardly open that up with a glove on. And these haven't been opened yet, so I want to give it a really thorough shake before. Sorry, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Just trying to get comfortable. Okay. So, as you can see, umber wash is brown. So, I'm going to start with the ones that have floors and ceilings attached, floors and walls attached, because those are the ones that Dad will need to maybe touch up the sand on. I'm going to be as careful as I can getting the umber wash along the edge, but it's a very, umber wash is very wet and it's very loose, so it will have a tendency to sort of go where it will. But that's all it takes. And that will dry and darken everything. So that's umber washed. So, when you're done with that, if you want to start doing sand cleanup to sort of finish us off, you can actually do that on the old set there, too.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll start with that.
Because that will be the driest. Because the umber wash, because it's so wet, it takes a little extra time to dry. And it can cause some slowdown in the process. But this is where all of the umber washed ones are, so that you know where they're drying.
Yep, you can pretty much tell because of the glossy wetness.
Well, that glossy wetness will disappear with time as it dries, and it will go back down to sort of a matte. But yes. If you want, I still have some sand. It might not be too dry.
Okay, well, I can try that. If nothing else, I can use the cup.
And then we'll get to see what kind of set we can make with all of these extra pieces.
It'll be larger.
Yeah, my only concern is we don't have as many center floor tiles, but those are the easiest to make, so if we need to fabricate a couple extra ones, it'll take no time at all.
Ooh, this needs black touch-up.
Where?
Or is that just...
No, it's like a cut-in, I think.
Yeah, it is a cut-in. Okay.
The wood on the framing is it's got little, it's imperfect like wood is, and it has little chunks cut in and out of it sometimes, kind of like you would find on actual like rough cut wood, which is nice, but it also sometimes throws you off when you're painting. Now I just have these central. Yeah, this is from the old set. You can double check that one as well.
Yeah, there should be a bunch of windows somewhere.
They're under the color chart.
Okay.
Ideally, there shouldn't be all that much touch up with the sand, but it is going to be bound to happen. Alright, and this will just introduce a little warmth to these red floors to create that terracotta look, is all this umber wash is doing. Tone down the red a little and bring in a little warmer brown color. Our new pump works.
It makes a weird high-pitched noise.
I don't know if we have a new pump for the humidifier runoff, and we got it yesterday. I don't know if the cameras picked it up. Not cameras.
Microphones?
Sound cameras.
Mm-hmm.
If the microphones picked it up. But that's good to know it works. Alright.
Okay. So do you think I can touch those up even though it's pretty wet?
Just handle the sides. I didn't wash the outside edges.
Okay.
As long as you don't grab the floor itself, you should be okay. Is that approved?
Mm-hmm.
And those are all approved.
Those are all approved.
Alright, well, if that's the case, I'm gonna start pulling all of the finished ones over here. And here's our door from the previous set. So, now we have a very large, basically, a very large set. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of exciting. So maybe, just to play with it a little as we close out here,
Ta-da.
Great. So I'm just throwing together some like random example.
Okay. I don't know. Should I take a couple minutes and just do the panels on the door, or just let it go?
Hmm?
Should I do the panels on the door?
No, it's past 5.
Yeah, okay.
So, as you can see, it's highly modular. We might make a couple more of these center floors so we can fill in and make larger rooms. But, for the one shot. But, I think it looks good, don't you?
Yeah, it does look
So
good.
we've done a nice big Southwest style building here with a lot of rounded corners. So,
A lot of windows.
and a lot of windows. So, thank you everyone who joined us today live on Twitch, and thank you to everyone who was watching on YouTube. Do all the liking and following and stuff that everyone tells you to do.
Patreon. Go to Patreon, give us money.
We have a Patreon at patreon.com/DiceAndDungeons, where we do polls on what to paint. We have behind the scenes footage from our D&D game, all sorts of things that you can do and check out. So go to that, patreon.com/DiceAndDungeons to see what is available. Anyway, thank you again. And we will see you soon.
Yeah, I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye.